You all can prefer the graph that in the slide. The price is not changed, but the quantity demand changed from Q1 to Q2 because the demand is decreased, so that the quantity demand also decreased.
The demand market for coffee will increase because the consumer will choose coffee than other substitutes because it can reduce the probability of getting colon cancer. It will affect the advertisement in determinant of demand because the Ministry of Health in Malaysia has published a study finding for the coffee. When government reduce the tariff, the price of coffee will decrease. The demand will increase. The demand curve will shift to the right.
So the impact on the equilibrium price and quantity of coffee when I have combined part 1 and part 2 is it will decrease in demand and will cause the equilibrium price to fall, and also the quantity coffee will decrease. Furthermore, an increase in demand and decrease in supply will cause an increase in equilibrium price, but the effect in equilibrium quantity cannot be determined. It is because the quantity of coffee US government now place a higher value on the goods, and the producer must have a higher price in order to supply the goods to the price will increase.
Nowadays, demand and supply coffee in Malaysia quite down because of pandemic COVID-19. However, demand and coffee is still number one in Malaysia lifestyle. We need a relevant example in our life about how to control a high demand of coffee in Malaysia. Firstly, the government can decrease the price in coffee industry. It is because it can make a demand and supply of coffee in the same condition that if the demand and supply at the same condition, it can increase sale in coffee industry. Next, the coffee industry also reach the profit target because a decrease the coffee price in Malaysia market. The company can pay an employee salary, also the government taxes. If company reach their target of profit and available to pay the taxes, government economy indirectly increases because of a coffee industry can make a profit. Advantage of the increases of taxes Malaysia can beat with other country that has a good economy. Besides that, the technological developments are taking place because of the coffee industry reach their target profit of supply coffee in Malaysia. That's why company can upgrade technology in their factory, so the factory can supply more coffee and can increase more profit in future. Indirectly, can also increase national economy twice. Okay, this is based on article that I have found by the Star. The title is Malaysia Economy in 2020. Okay, what I can summarize of the article that I have found. The first coronavirus case was traced in Wuhan in November last year. The looming pandemic of COVID-19 has posed further pressure on Malaysia's company. Okay, the country's GDP in the fourth quarter of 2019 declined to 3.6%. However, Malaysia growth continued to slow, charting 0.7% growth amidst uncertainties in all directions. Charting 0.7% growth amidst uncertainties in all directions. Okay, the government has rolled out economic stimulus package amounting to 315 billion ringgit to curb the spread of the virus. It is the first time the country's history that the Movement Control Order, that is MCO, has been enforced in 4 phases from March 18 until May 3 for the first ever time in Malaysia. It has implications on the domestic business landscape, resulting in the government rolling out an economic stimulus package. The largest contraction was in the construction sector, which recorded a contraction rate of negative 44.5%. The government's contraction was in the construction sector, which recorded a contraction rate of negative 44.5%. The government's decision to implement key transport infrastructure project with a total allocation of 15 billion in budget 2021 augurs well for the industry. The country construction industry suffered RM 18.5 billion in losses during the first 3 phases of the lockdown to curb the spread of coronavirus. Bank Negara Malaysia announced that the country's GDP recorded a lower contraction of 2.7% due to relaxation of the movement restrictions, allowing gradual resumption of business activities. Okay, that's all for my group. Don't forget to sanitize your hand and use the face mask when you're doing outside. And that's all. Stay safe. Thank you.